What is going on, guys? Hello and welcome yet again to another Firearm Freedom YouTube live stream. Running about 5 minutes late in today's live stream, and I do apologize for that, but we had a very big day here at the Firearm Freedom compound. We actually grabbed, me and Mrs. Freedom, our very first Christmas tree today for our first home, which was pretty freaking cool. Went out there, a lot of fun, cut down the Christmas tree for the first time, and we've been spending the last little bit of our afternoon just getting that all set up with ornaments and everything like that. So that's always a good day. Unfortunately, made the live stream a little bit late. Guys, this is an exciting live stream because it is the 20th live stream that we have done here on YouTube, which blows my mind. I did not think we would be doing these live streams for quite this long of a time. I didn't think you guys would enjoy them as much as you do, but you are still seemingly enjoying them. So we have been doing this for freaking 20 weeks now, almost, which doesn't even sound right, but I guess it is. And it is crazy. Man, bunch of people jumping in right off the gate, which is sweet. Did you put it in the SVU? Yes, I did, Sam. I actually did put it in the back of my car. Why did you cut the 9mm tree? I am doing well, Tim. How are you doing? I love the smell of Christmas trees. Fake ones just aren't the same. Hello and welcome. I would agree. I would definitely agree. And for those of you guys that don't know, the Firearm Freedom compound was really more of a closet for the first portion of this channel in a very, very small apartment, about a 700 square foot apartment. That's where we started the Firearm Freedom channel. So we never really had like the ability in an apartment complex to have a live tree. It was just really more of a pain in the butt than it was worth. But with that being said, now that we moved into our first home, it became a reality this year, and it was a lot of fun. I have personally never really cut down a Christmas tree before. We always just went to the normal spot and, picked up the tree and off we went. But it was a lot of fun to kind of look around, search for the tree, cut it down, and everything like that. It was a blast. Sean, to be honest, I've watched maybe 1 or 2 of your videos. I prefer live streams. Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. Whatever you enjoy the most. I've tried to watch the first 4 or 5 live streams. Gotcha. 80s Warrior, love the channel, just picked up a PS90. I love it. What say you? Ammo is like a unicorn. Any suggestions? So, unfortunately, 80s Warrior, the PS90 is a very cool little gun. In normal times, I would say it's really a great option. Right now, unfortunately, ammo is very, very, very hard to find. So much so that I've been seeing boxes of 50 go for almost $90 on Ammo Seek as the lowest price. $90 for a 50-round box. So I unfortunately, I don't have an answer for you. I wish I did, but I do not. I wish I did, but I don't. Guys, also, I should note while everybody's coming in, this special 20th YouTube live stream edition is just going to be an open Q&A. I generally do these open Q&As around each and every, per 10 increment of, kind of a celebration of another 10 live streams down. I think we did an open Q&A on the 10th live stream on the channel, so I figured we would do an open Q&A here on the 20th live stream on the channel. So you guys know what that means. Type in all the questions you want to. Doesn't matter what topic it's about. I will answer them live for you guys here on YouTube. Hell yeah, in the Christmas spirit. Chilling with the kiddos, got the tree up, and got this notification. Tim, that's a good afternoon, man. Or a good evening, I guess, depending on where you're watching from. Neil, good evening to you as well. Used to have real trees when I was a child and nightmare thoughts as the needles would end up getting stuck in the carpet. I will agree, the needles are definitely annoying. The pine needles are pretty annoying. This year, though, I'm not sure how into trees everybody is, but I believe this is a Fraser fir tree. Does that sound accurate? I don't know. Not big into Christmas trees myself, but the pines needles seem just a tad bit better. Doesn't seem like they're falling off as much. I don't know. We had a hell of a time trying to figure out what the difference was between all of these Christmas trees because they all kind of just look like Christmas trees. So I don't know. Gat Cat. I figured you were formerly KC because I figured, by seeing your icon there, that you would be the same. Formerly KC, I'm trying to create a YouTube channel. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. That is always a big step. And can't decide on a channel name. Suggestions. Well, Gat Cat is not necessarily a bad name, but what I would recommend to you is just kind of choose something and roll with it. I think the moment that you try to sit there and think of the absolute most perfect name for a YouTube channel, you start kind of almost taking too much time. I would make sure that nobody else has that same name here on YouTube, and if they don't, I would just roll with it, man. Roll with it. Ian, what is up, man? Good to see you. I scored 300 more rounds of 6mm ARC black, 105 grain. Can't beat that. Favorite ice cream. Ooh, you guys ready for this one? So I'm a weirdo, and I don't necessarily know. I'm not lactose intolerant, but, I think I may have some sort of like a milk allergy. I don't know. Some milk just does not agree with me in any way, shape, or form. And unfortunately, that would be ice cream as well. Ice cream is the main one. So I actually don't eat any ice cream. But when I was a little kid and I didn't really know what was going on as far as with the allergy to milk, and I just kind of ate some milk anyways, it was vanilla back in the day. I know. Super exotic. Crazy ice cream flavor. The Master Champ, what is up, man? Good to see you. Mike, what is coming soon to the channel? Well, hopefully, as I have my notepad over on the little tabletop review station over to my right over there, the next video that's going to be filmed tomorrow morning will be the Streamlight TLR9 video. So finally getting up the Streamlight TLR9. It is a beefcake of a flashlight. It is a ginormous flashlight that is designed apparently for pistols, but in my opinion, it just goes a little bit better on rifles, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in the review. It is an awesome light. I don't have any issues with the light at all, and it's performed incredibly well over the past few months that I've had it. Been really trying to get it onto the channel, and I've just kind of wanted to put videos about firearms in front of it, and I'm going to kind of boost that to the beginning and film that tomorrow. So that's going to be coming to the channel very, very soon, hopefully in a few days. Other than that, as far as new guns coming to the channel, I do have a couple of guns that I am upgrading in the process that will probably make their way to the channel very soon. My Palmetto State 10.5-inch pistol did get in some upgrades with a new Geisley rail, so that one will probably be seeing the channel relatively soon, and unfortunately, I might be doing a review on the upgrades of my little 300 Blackout Super Shorty that you guys have seen on the channel multiple times. I'm going to be getting a Geisley rail in for that as well, but I don't know if you will see any shooting footage of that 300 Blackout Super Shorty because 300 Blackout ammunition is unobtainium. It is absolutely gone, and it is much more gone than 5.56 and 2.23. So unfortunately, I don't know when I will be shooting that 300 Blackout next, but you guys will definitely be seeing at least just some of the upgrades that I made to it. You can only have one gun. What would it be? Ooh, God, everybody hits me with this question in every one of these open Q&As, dude. How does, Ian, how does one answer that is my question. I really don't know. I'll make it easy. I'll just say Project Dream Build, which you guys will be seeing coming onto the channel soon. And that, I don't know. If I had to pick one, it would probably be that, just because I don't know. I dumped a bunch of money into it. Is that a good answer? It performs well, runs well, suppressed. All of those reasons, all of those things. But in all reality, I do think that is a nice, all-around usable rifle for really whatever role I want to put that into. So if I could only choose one at this point in time, it would be that. But it changes so frequently, and that's what's tough. The Masters Champ 556 ammo is now legitimately $1 per round or more. How do they feel about that? Are they indifferent about getting pounded in their ass? And demonetized the moment I read that comment out. That's all right, though. It was worth it. So I would imagine who you're referring to. Let me see if you commented down below at all. I would imagine who you're referring to is like the actual ammunition manufacturers and distributors that are selling them at these prices. So in reality, at this point, buying ammunition online at all, unless you're buying like some super oddball, old school military surplus calibers that are very, very available, it is pretty much a joke to try to find and buy anything online. The online prices are just skyrocketing through the roof. And I would say there may be a shop around you that is actually not gouging quite as bad as other shops are gouging. And my advice to you would be to try and find that shop, and whether it's 1 box a day or 2 boxes a day or 3 boxes a day, go in as frequently as possible and buy your 1 box allotment or your 2 box allotment. And that at this point in time is really the only way to find reasonably priced ammunition. There is not any source online, unfortunately. A lot of people were talking about Big Daddy Unlimited more recently and them having ammunition and stuff like that. I just bought a little 99-cent membership with them. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form, nor did I use anybody's link. I just wanted to see what they were about. And unfortunately, it looks like they're picked clean as well, because if you're looking for ammo, there is no ammo available on their website. So it doesn't really appear that there's any place online right now that you can find ammunition reasonably priced. Gun shows are definitely not about it, so try to find that local shop. And hopefully that answered your question, or at least somewhat answered your question. Evening from AZ. Man, long ways away. Not as far away as Neil in the UK, but still quite a ways away. Thank you for tuning in. When everyone stocked up on toilet paper in March, I snuck in the back door and bought a ton of ammo, all set over here. Can't beat that, man. Can't beat that. My niece just broke the national record for a 10-year-old. She did a 175-pound deadlift 4 times. Hey, that is sweet, man. Congratulations to her. That is pretty impressive. Sean, I've been thinking about doing a YouTube channel, but small arms solutions beat to the content I wanted to do with all the military small arms history. Sean, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to do similar content. I mean, if you look at Firearm Freedom, we do these live streams, but then the bulk of the channel, as far as the actual edited content that goes on it, is tabletop reviews. There are a ton of people out there that do tabletop reviews of many of the same firearms that I have talked about here on the channel. What I would give to you as far as advice would be, make the channel, see what happens. Be yourself, and that alone will probably throw enough of a different swing of things to your very own channel. I mean, you know, if I looked at other videos, I'm sure I'd find a lot of things that are similar with other channels, but I try not to look at that stuff and just do exactly what I think, you know, should go on camera, shouldn't go on camera as far as editing, you know, and you might get a little bit of a different swing of things, which people might enjoy. Hopefully that made sense. 80s Warrior, looks like we are going to slam dunk on PA on Tuesday. That means we take 20 EV. Trump's about to make history. Stop the steal. What say you? I would say that it's still very possible, man. You know, as I've been saying since kind of the beginning of the election, is we don't know really what's going to happen. There's a lot up in the air until January. So we'll see what's going to happen. It's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting here coming up soon. Gat Cat. I got a Dan Wesson Classic Commander yesterday. Love it. It's used and does have some rust. Best way to clean and prevent rust from returning. So with the Dan Wesson Classic, it is probably a blued gun. So when you're going about rust removal, you want to be a little bit careful to not remove a lot of that bluing. But with that being said, a really good way to remove some rust is a small amount. Okay, so if it is stainless, it's a little bit easier to go through this process. But the spot that you see rust, how I prefer to get a lot of the rust off, there's a lot of different ways out there. If it's not that bad, if it's just surface rust, I would put a large amount. I mean, you really want to make it wet with oil and then take some very fine steel wool and just slowly work the steel wool in small circles around the spot that has rust. And that should do a very good job of taking that rust off. As far as stopping the rust from coming back again, generally speaking, that would be the same as any other firearm in your collection. Just make sure you're keeping it not in a humid environment. Make sure that it's good in the climate control, not in like a damp basement or anything like that. And the rust, for the most part, should not come back. Also, keeping a very thin coat of oil on the metal components of the gun can help out a little bit as well. Give me 1 second here, guys. Reading through everybody's comments. The TLR-7A, awesome light. I have not a TLR-7A, but I've seen, I have an original TLR-7, and I have no issues with that light, but there are definitely some issues in regards to the toggle switches, or I should say lack thereof, on the standard TLR-7 and the TLR-7A. They definitely did a good job of moving to the new switches, which really make a big difference for sure. Nick, do you have any NFA items in jail? I do not currently. I've been thinking about one or two more cans. I have a couple in mind, but honestly, in the grand scheme of things, of everything that I'm trying to get my hands on right now, that would be the last thing I would be looking at, just because with the way that panic buying's going and everything like that, suppressors and other NFA items are really not being hit like anything else. I still have, at the gun shop that I work at, a case full of suppressors. In fact, most of the people coming into gun shops right now don't even know that suppressors are legal to own or anything like that. They have no idea about them, so that really hasn't been hit. I would be much more concerned with ammo, mags, upgrading guns in the collection first than the suppressors at this point in time. In the future, though, maybe. Yes, maybe. Sam, thoughts on night vision? Dude, night vision is awesome. Don't have it. I'm trying to get it. Does that answer your question? Just also picked up an Arsenal Sam. I would imagine you mean a Sam 7 AK, and you love that gun. What do you think a A price is fair per round, a fair price per round. So I would say realistically per box of 20, if you are, and this is a lot, unfortunately, for 762 by 39, but this is the new reality of 2020 as we've seen it. If you are below $8.99 for a box of 20 of 762 by 39 ammo, you're doing okay. If you are above $8.99 a box of 20, you are not doing okay. And that would be the easiest way that I could explain, a good price for 762 by 39 right now. Ian, it is an impossible question, man. Yeah, exactly. Dump the money into it, and that's going to be the choice of the gun. If I could only choose one, whatever I dump the most money into. Neil, Choice Ammo has a few calibers in stock at not too expensive prices. Choice Ammo, I'm not necessarily too familiar with them. Is that strictly based in the UK, or are they worldwide, or are they just in the United States? All right. Sorry, guys. Reading through everybody's comments here, and they pop up so quickly that it takes me a second to read through them. I really like the one box allotment method compared to price gouging. From a business perspective, do you think it works out as customers come into your shop to buy the box and maybe other stuff? So that's a great question. Unfortunately, most people that come into gun shops right now, the first immediate thing that they generally think is, man, this is really tough for me to buy something right now, but you guys must be loving this because your business has been through the roof as of more recently. But the reality of it is that most gun shops right now generally don't have anything to sell you for the most part. So what ends up happening is you get a lot of people coming in gun shops right now, which you would think would be good for business. But a lot of those people are saying, hey, do you have this? And most of the time, the answers that we give them are, no, unfortunately, I don't have that in stock. And that's like 99% of the people coming in. Now, they might buy some extras, odds and ends, whatever. But for a bulk of the people coming in, they are strictly looking for ammo, and whatever else they're looking for, we probably don't have. But with that being said, yes, I think a lot of people really don't mind that one box limit when they can get it. Now, unfortunately, you can't be lazy with that one box limit. A lot of people get frustrated because they just want to come into the shop, and buy 6 boxes of their ammo because they don't want to come in every day, and this is BS, and why can I only get one box? This is ridiculous. And most of those people haven't been around other gun shops recently. Most of them have not seen prices on their standard box of ammo that was $12 now at $50. So a lot of those people just don't really grasp it yet. But for the most part, those people that do understand it enjoy that there is that one box limit, because they would much rather have the chance to come in every single day and try to find a box of ammo at a normal price than as many as you want at like a 200% markup from a standard margin. So unfortunately, that's the reality of what we live under now in 2020, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. For the vast majority of people coming in, yes, as a business model, they do like seeing, I shouldn't say like seeing a one box limit, but understand the one box limit and would rather see that than the price gouging. Unfortunately, I would love to just have the ammo out at the original prices, but that is just not a possibility right now, simply because if we did that, it would be gone in literally less than 20 minutes, and we would not have ammo for weeks at a time. And then those same people that are complaining about a one box limit would be complaining because there's no ammo to be had at all. So it's kind of a lose-lose for some people, but the reality of it is that's kind of the best way to go about it more recently. Harry, do you like to use tracers as I do? What's the best way to clean your gun afterwards? So I'll be honest with you, Harry. never, ever, ever use tracers, not because I don't want to use tracers. I just never really have a use for them at the range, and most ranges that I go to, it wouldn't be a huge benefit because most of them I can't unfortunately shoot at night to really see the big benefit of a tracer. So I don't shoot them too frequently, but as you stated, they are very, very dirty, generally speaking. As far as cleaning the gun after, I would say just use some pretty hardcore standard solvents, gun cleaning solvents, and probably let it sit in your bore for a longer period of time, and hope for the best on that. That would be another reason why I'm not as big of a fan of tracers, is just because they are pretty incredibly dirty, for what they are. But they are pretty freaking cool regardless. Okay. Mike, it's so weird not seeing you have a co-host. I know, right? I don't know what to do with my hands. It's really weird. For those of you guys watching here on YouTube right now that don't get that reference, that would be because in all of the Instagram live streams, I have a co-host, which would be a firearm out of my collection that I bring to the channel and showcase in a live stream and talk about the gun, new upgrades that I made to it, things that are awesome about it, how it's doing, blah, 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 blah. But it's easy for me to show that because Instagram doesn't have the restriction that YouTube does, that unfortunately I can't handle, firearms here on these live streams without fear of being deleted out of existence here on YouTube. Which is unfortunate. My local gun shop has been selling the crap out of SIG cans. I could see that, but unfortunately people are going to be having a rude awakening once they realize that SIG is no longer making their suppressors, so I would imagine that warranty repair is going to be a little bit of a problem, and also aftermarket accessories are going to be a little bit of a problem as time goes on. SIG announced that maybe like a month ago, maybe a little bit after a month ago. The Rural King and Academy have low price 7.62, still 25 cents per round. Not bad. Not bad at all. I don't own 7.62, but my local shop has 5.56, $12.99 for 20 rounds of X-Tac. That is unfortunately a pretty average price that you're seeing right now in 2020. Reality is, I would say that more along the lines of like $10.99 would be a better price right now. $12.99 is a little bit high, but it's still, kind of about the same that you're going to see at most other shops. We have a 2-box limit on ammo in my neighborhood. That sounds about right. Choice Ammo is a U.S. company in Montana. I've been doing some research of different companies for when I do finally get to the U.S. next year. They deal in both standard ammo and cowboy ammo. Neil, interesting. I might have to check that out. Cheapest 9mm is $19.99 for 50, but 380 runs $24.99. I don't know why. So 380 is much harder to find right now, so that's generally why places are raising up the price. $19.99 would be like the absolute top end that I would be willing to pay for 9mm. And quite frankly, as far as me personally, I would not pay that for 9mm. But let me rephrase that. That would be the most expensive I would recommend buying 9mm at. Man, I swear, every time I'm down here, you guys can't see this on the little iPhone camera, but there's little like dust floating all over the place, and I have to have this little heater on because it's frigidly cold in this area, the Freedom compound, and it just blows the dust like right into my mouth, and I'm just dying the whole live stream. But that's all right. You got to fight through it for the Freedom. You know what I mean? But regardless, yes, that would be the highest that I would recommend somebody buy 9mm at. Generally, I say if it's over $20, then you're way overpaying. If it's under $20, you're doing okay. So that would be like the most I would recommend. Firearm Freedom, is it really true that when shooting steel through an AR that you have to use a lot of lube or clean it every single time thoroughly? Well, it depends. Man, got a lot of stuff in my throat. That's all right. I'm sure you guys will take that out of context. That's okay. I welcome it. So realistically, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about steel-cased ammo. As far as, does it make your gun dirtier? Yes, generally speaking, steel case can run a bit dirtier depending on the type of steel. If you need to keep your gun well lubricated, I wouldn't say that you need to keep your gun any more well lubricated than when running brass. With that being said, as far as cleaning your gun every single time, I don't think personally that it's going to make a difference as far as if you have to clean it immediately after using steel case or if you have to clean it immediately after using brass. For my personal firearms, I generally clean them as soon as I get them back to the range, back from the range. That is just a habit that I have formed. You definitely don't have to do that. These guns can go a very long time without being cleaned and still run successfully. But especially my defensive guns, I really try to break them apart as soon as I can and give them just a little bit of a quick cleaning, especially as well for my channel. Reason being is because when I am taking these guns apart, I am also looking for increased signs of wear from the last range day if a part is actually broken and I may not have seen it because it had a little bit of carbon on it or something like that, and it was just kind of covering up actually fail point that maybe I wouldn't have realized before. So I recommend cleaning them regardless every time I get them home, steel case or brass. Okay, Sean, I didn't hear about that at all. So SIG is dropping all their cans. Sean, yes. So from my knowledge, I heard trickled through the grapevine from distribution that SIG is canning all of their suppressors. They are axing them all out from my understanding. I'm sure there will probably be, I know they have actually, I'm almost positive they have a couple of military cans still in the rolls there, so I don't know if they'll keep manufacturing those, but from my knowledge, I don't have any hard evidence of this, but from my knowledge, they are canceling all of their suppressors. Rockford, no problem, man. Thanks for tuning in regardless. So there's no disadvantage besides ballistics. That's not a bad deal then for those having to buy it now. I don't see any disadvantages personally to running steel case ammo. That's just me. If you guys want my honest opinion, I have ran steel case ammo now at this point, probably roughly 20,000 rounds of steel case ammo in multiple various calibers. I have run everything from 9x18 Makarov, 380, 40 cal, 9mm, 45 ACP, 38 special. I have run 30 carbine. I've run 223. I have run 545, 7.62 by 39, 308, 7.62 by 54R. I've run probably about 3 other calibers on top of that I'm also forgetting, and I've yet to have a single ammunition-related failure besides 38 Special. 38 Special did not run in my little Smith & Wesson J-frame. The cases expanded in the cylinder and did not want to eject no matter what I did. So that specific 38 Special did not run the steel case ammunition. Now, any other semi-automatic firearm, any other AR-15 I fired it in, or anything else, it has performed flawlessly without issue. So I have not seen any increased signs of wear from the steel case ammo. I have not seen any damage to parts from the steel case ammo, and I've not seen any major wearing on rifling compared to just standard full metal jacket brass cased ammunition. So I don't want to say it's a total myth that steel case ammunition is horrible from for your guns. I personally don't think it is. I have put a lot of steel case ammunition down range, and I've not seen the issues that a lot of people are claiming. Quite frankly, I think a lot of the people that are claiming all of these issues maybe haven't shot steel case ammo and are just regurgitating things that they have heard on forums and different things like that. But I personally have not seen any major issues when running steel case ever. Now, there are some guns that may not like steel case ammo, and I would tend to question the reliability of that firearm if I have one AR that's going to reliably cycle steel case ammo at all points in time, and then I have another AR-15 that just won't run steel at all, only will run premium brass, then I would tend to kind of question why one can run any type of ammo and the other cannot. And I would tend to hit that firearm a little bit for not being able to also run steel case ammo. Mark, what's your take on pocket pistols? Recently, I've gotten into those Lorsons and Ravens, the little 25. Picked up a few of those and even picked up a Taurus 732. So pocket pistols are tough. I would say what is probably the worst thing about pocket pistols is reliability. Generally speaking, they are inherently unreliable. That's just kind of the way that it rolls with those guns. And a lot of people, this is a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, a lot of people say, well, it's not designed to be a range gun, so if it's not reliable, who's shooting it anyways? But if you're going to carry that gun as a backup or potentially something that you could use to defend your life or somebody else's life, I personally would make sure that you train with it, practice with it, become proficient with it, so that especially under times of pretty extreme stress, you're also still going to be able to perform well. As far as caliber-wise, I have somewhat of a hard time going below 380 ACP in a pocket gun roll. Is 25 ACP and 32 ACP still lethal? Yes, obviously, and no, I would not want to get shot by one. But with that being said, I think consistently it has been proven that 25 ACP specifically and 32 ACP have performed pretty bad in regards to overall defensive situations throughout the course of the history of the round. Even actually worse than 22 LR in most cases. So it's tough. I have a 25 ACP Beretta myself. I love that little gun. I think it's super cool. I have a hard time putting it into a defensive role, and generally speaking, I feel a little bit uncomfortable in regards to the effectiveness of the round for people versus people protection when I get below 380. 380 is kind of like my cutoff for being comfortable with actually carrying that for defense. Okay, Sean, what gun care products do you use? I only use G96 synthetic CLP and the Breakthrough military grade solvent. So generally speaking, I use M Pro 7 personally. I've used it for forever, and I don't know, that's just been kind of like my solvent of choice. It's non-toxic, biodegradable, whatever. So it's kind of nice because if you're cleaning them in a non-ventilated area, it doesn't really matter if you get the solvent all over the table or whatever. Again, doesn't really matter. So I do like that factor about it. And then for lubricant, I use Lucas gun oil. That's been a favorite of mine for a very long time now. Huge fan of Lucas gun oil. I just have not had an issue with it in regards to oil. that has not dried up on me or anything like that. I used to use hops, and that stuff is literally like water. I pretty much put the hops gun oil on my firearms, and it would literally dry up in less than a week. It would be dry, whereas the Lucas gun oil stays where it should for quite some time. As far as grease, I actually use choke tube grease that was originally designed for shotgun choke tubes. It's basically like a high heat anti-seize grease that actually works incredibly well for me. Let's see here. Okay. Got one last question for you about that is one problem. If you are in a firefight, I've read that the steel will lead to more malfunctions, like one per mag, so they say you don't want it in a SHTF fight. I would disagree entirely with that, and the reason why I would disagree is because I don't know how a firefight would differ from me, say, doing 3 mag dumps at the range as far as rate of fire, or taking a complete rifle class with steel case ammunition, as far as that much of a rate of fire consistently. If the steel ammo works through that, I don't know really what would differ as far as the gun's perspective in a quote-unquote firefight. In a firefight, are you shooting 300 rounds at a time? Well, if in that case, I've shot that at a pretty rapid rate of fire with steel case, and I've still not experienced an issue. Are you shooting 1,000 rounds at a time, which I would say would be a really, really, really rough situation to be in, especially in an SHTF situation. And even then, I've shot close to 1,000 rounds at one time with steel case, and I've still yet to have a malfunction caused by the ammo at a fairly high rate of fire. So it's tough to say. I've also shot steel case full auto, and again, I still have not had a major issue. So I would disagree with the folks saying that as well. But to each their own. I mean, everybody's going to have a different experience. Somebody else might take their firearm out, might grab a box of Tula and experience bad primers or experience ammunition issue, which is causing the gun to malfunction. Take it to a rifle class, again, cause an issue, having the gun malfunction. To each their own. But again, in my case, I have not had those issues. Whisper Tactical started a gun channel 5 months ago, and I have like 538 subs right now. Do you have any tips for a new gun tuber? Well, I'll tell you what, man. 538 subs is a big achievement for one, so you should be patting yourself on the back for that. You're already closer to that 1,000 subscriber mark, which is a really big mark for a beginning channel. I remember when I hit 1,000 subscribers, and that was like the craziest day of my life, and it was the best feeling ever. So what I can tell you is stay dedicated, and that's probably the hardest thing to do. Nothing's worse than starting a channel, making a video, and you're so excited about the video, you put so much work into it, and because you only have 500 subs, maybe the video gets like 20 views, 30 views. And you start thinking to yourself, like, why am I making these videos? There's 30 people watching it. What does it matter, really? But try to think of it from a different perspective. Think of it from the standpoint of you're in a room talking to somebody, and there's 30 people in that room that decided to come into that room and listen to you talk. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that are willing to step forward and be like, man, let's see what this guy has to say. Let's click on this video and see what's up with it. So don't get discouraged by the low view counts. Try to think of it from a different perspective. And you may get a video that will just blow out of the water and just be crazy when it comes to the views. In my case, it was 8 things not to do in a gun shop. That video is now well over 1,200,000 views. I wish it wasn't, because that was my least favorite video I've ever made, but we don't get to choose that as gun tubers, unfortunately. So another tip I would have for you is treat every video that you make, especially in the beginning, like it is going to be, how should I say, your 8 things not to do in a gun shop video that blows up and gets 1 million views. Anytime you make a video and you're kind of like, I don't know if I really agree with what I said, or like, I don't know if it was edited as much as I wanted it to be, and you post it anyways, just be aware that that could be the video that goes and surpasses 700,000 views in 2 days. You know, you never know when that's going to be. And then also consistency. Try to make videos as consistently as possible. If you want to do daily videos, just understand that that's a lot to ask of yourself, and you can be very overzealous at times, and that happens to me quite a bit, where I will try to manage all of these different accounts, you know, and it can get very, very difficult very quickly on top of a full-time schedule. So I would say make realistic goals with yourself. Post 1 video a week, and try to post that video every single week. Unfortunately, YouTube thrives off a lot of content. So if you post 1 video a month, chances are the algorithms are going to look over your channel entirely. You really need to post at the very bare minimum 1 piece of content per week on YouTube to at least sustain, let alone grow. To grow, you will probably need 2 to 3 videos per week, and that is going to be a good baseline to give your viewers something to actually watch and move forward. And of course, all the little stuff that any other channel would benefit from, like good lighting, good audio, and a nice camera setup. Now, that camera setup doesn't necessarily have to be a really expensive DSLR. It could even be an iPhone, like what you're watching this on now. Lighting makes a big difference with how a camera looks. If you're in a dark room, an iPhone looks like crap. But if you're in a really nice lit, you know, studio like I'm in now, it can look a little bit better. So lighting is key, audio is key, and consistency. Hope that helps you, and I wish you luck on the channel. Okay. Nick, you have to be careful with steel case ammo because if the bolt in the AR-15 becomes magnetized, the steel shavings can collect on the bolt or in the firing pin channel, thus causing malfunctions. Yeah, you know, that can definitely happen. I think that, you know, falls onto more of the actual bolt itself. You know, it can happen. It hasn't happened that much to me. I can't say that I've ever seen that in one of my firearms, but it can happen. So I would say it's important to make sure the gun is well lubricated and also properly cleaned, you know, when you take it back from the range. Cleaning it at the range, obviously, you know, between firing cycles is not what I mean by that, but bring it home, clean it, make sure it's well lubricated and so on, you know, and just be aware that that could potentially happen. Now, I would like to clarify that as much as I run steel case ammunition, I view steel case ammunition as a little bit more of a training caliber, you know, stuff to put through at the range. And for my defensive guns, I wouldn't necessarily recommend keeping steel case in them or carrying with steel case ammo. I trust that ammo at the range, but I am not ignorant to obviously the possible issues that it could have, even though I haven't seen it. So yes, if you're looking for like SHTF ammo, would that be my first choice? No. Do you have nothing, but you have 600 rounds of steel case? Would I rather have that than nothing? Yes, but I would much rather obviously have brass. It's just a lot harder for a lot of people right now to stockpile brass than it is steel. All right. Same here. Lucas is really good. Yep. Mark, I don't think of using it as an EDC. I just like shooting them with the wife at the range. They don't jump or are as snappy as her EZ380. It's just, I have picked those 25s, cheap thrills. Oh yeah, for just cool range guns, you can't beat them. 25 is awesome. It's a fun little plinking caliber. Lacking in the defensive department, but for just a cheap little fun plinker, yeah, you can't beat it at all. Okay. Could steel be less accurate in a firefight? Yes, I mean, and obviously I see your second comment there. We're taking out that firefight, thing, whatever. In general, is steel case less accurate? That's a better question to ask. I would say yes. In general, steel case ammunition is not going to be as accurate as brass, properly loaded like mil spec ammunition. It's just not. That's the reality of it. Is that the end of the world? I don't know. Maybe not. Would it be, again, my first choice in a SHTF situation? No, probably not. And that would be why I think standard XM193 ball, if we're talking about 5.56, would be the better option to take. One of the techs I used to work with, his wife started a YouTube channel and she became an overnight success and now has over 2 million subs. He quit his job and they moved to Texas and make serious money. Yep, that can happen. That can happen for sure, Sean. You never know. You never know with YouTube, and unfortunately, with anything gun related, you just have to understand that you're going to be walking into an uphill battle for the most part. That's just the reality of gun content. And even though you might start your channel, like I've seen a couple of new people start their channel and get to like 10,000 subscribers, and the shadow banning, the craziness hasn't hit them yet. So they just kind of assume like, oh, people must just be not knowing what they're talking about. It must be, it must be a total myth, right? Just understand that at some point in time, that shadow banning is going to hit you. It's going to hit you regardless of what you do, and you just have to try to keep chugging along through that and try to keep making content as much as you possibly can, and that's going to be the only thing that may defeat this stuff, including you guys watching these videos. I asked a buddy who is associated with SIG about the suppressors. He said they are disconnected with, or they are disconnecting all models and launching all new models, but who knows, man? He has been wrong before. Interesting, yeah. I mean, I would find it very odd that SIG would stop all of the models of their suppressors and introduce all new models of their suppressors when so many people are still using the old cans. Accessories for the old cans, would they transfer them over? I don't know. It just seems a little odd, but it could be the case for sure. Mark, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Good discussions and fun. I really, really appreciate that. I can't tell you guys enough how much that small support really means to me. It helps defeat, YouTube killing the monetization on my channel, which again is incredible. Thank you. Lucas Contact Spray Cleaner is the bomb. The carbon just melts off. I use Slip 2000 for lubrication only because I've been using it for 20 years. Yeah, you can't beat that. For sure, it's great that your wife wants to shoot. I like the pocket pistols as a novelty. They have a lot of character. I'll agree to that for sure. Sean, no problem, buddy. Go enjoy it. Nick, the Firearm Blog did an interview with SIG. SIG said they will continue to support legacy cans. I don't know about accessories, though. Interesting. Very interesting. I notice how they're throwing it into like a legacy thing, which is a little bit odd. So I don't know. It's just weird decisions, but whatever. I mean, I understand the suppressor market as a whole right now is really not great. Yeah. So guys, I think I'm caught up on the questions there. We got about 5 minutes left still, so I'll give you a chance if you didn't ask a question yet that you wanted to ask. We don't normally get this. Normally the questions are going far past that time, and I miss quite a few individuals' questions. So if you do have a question in there, throw it down and let me know what you want to hear, and I'll try to answer that in a last minute thing, and we'll go from there. If not, no big deal, because I can also end it a bit early too. Sam, they're doing some new 3D printed cans from what I know. Ah, interesting. So I could see them going that route as well. As we saw with Daniel, it seems that the Wave 3D printed suppressor from Daniel performed relatively well. So I could see maybe SIG going down that route too. Maybe they're doing that and trying to decrease the overall cost of their cans a little bit. Who knows? I guess we'll find out relatively soon. All right, I think that may be it. I'm not seeing any new questions pop up, so I'm probably going to end this live stream now. Guys, if you have any other questions and you didn't get a chance and I'm ending it while you're typing it or whatever else, throw them down below in the comment section, and you guys know I absolutely will get back to you. After this live stream is over, I do have links down in the description to the Firearm Freedom Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord server. We also have links to the Firearm Freedom merchandise store, and we also have a Firearm Freedom Subscribe Star account. All of those you can hit up, check out, and support the channel in a couple of different ways. So be sure to head over to that description. Also, share this video around, comment down below. All of that really helps out. Neil, no problem at all, man. I am glad you enjoyed it. Mark, shotgun 5.56, 300 or 40 for home defense. I would go 5.56. Quick answer, 5.56. That's just me. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all had a wonderful Sunday and continue to have an awesome evening for your Sunday and have a really nice start to your week. Stay tuned. I should have a TLR 9 video dropping very, very soon on the channel. So as always, stay tuned for more videos coming soon.